So we are discussing about the magnetic properties of the materials. Okay, we have seen what is the origin of the magnetism inside particular material. Okay, it is the orbital motion of the electron and it is the spin motion of the electron which are responsible for the magnetism in the materials. Okay, we have seen the various types of magnetic materials, that is diamagnetic material, in which the initially the magnetic moment is zero because of the filled electrons. Okay, and the material will possess no magnetic moment, okay, or the no magnetization in the absence of any magnetic field. But whenever such a material is kept in presence of magnetic field, the magnetization will be generated, some small quantity of the magnetization will be generated, but that would be in the opposite direction to the that of applied magnetic field. Okay, so such a materials will be called as the diamagnetic materials. There are paramagnetic materials also, which have zero magnetization or zero magnetic dipole moment because of the thermal agitation at room temperature, but when it is kept in the external magnetic field, it will acquire some resultant magnetic moment in the direction of the applied magnetic field. Okay, but that magnetization, the value of that magnetization would be very small. And we have another type of materials that are called as a ferromagnetic materials that have permanent magnetic moment even in the absence of magnetic field. Okay, and when such a ferromagnetic materials are kept in the magnetic field, it will acquire very strong magnetization in the direction of the magnetic field, and even if we remove the magnetic field, external magnetic field, then also that particular substance will behave like a permanent magnet. Okay, so these are the special properties of ferromagnetic material. Now we shall see what is the theoretical aspect. Okay, what is the classical theory behind this diamagnetism first. Okay, so we shall see now classical theory of diamagnetism. Classical theory of diamagnetism. This classical theory is also sometimes called as Langevin's theory. Langevin's theory. Langevin is the name of the scientist who has put forward this particular theory, and hence it is called as a Langevin's theory or classical theory. Why classical theory? Because we are using classical concepts in order to explain this particular type of diamagnetism. Okay, so what we have to assume in this particular theory, that electron, we know that diamagnetism arises because of the orbital motion of the electron, because there is a change in the orbital motion of the electron, because we are subjecting this particular type of diamagnetic material in presence of magnetic field. So there will be the change in the orbital velocity, and because of that there will be some change in the current, and that current will generate the magnetic field which will try to oppose the incident magnetic field. Okay, so for that let us consider the electronic orbit, one of the electronic orbit. So suppose there is a nucleus and electron is revolving around the orbit. Okay, or electron is performing some orbital motion. Now when the electron is performing some kind of orbital motion, see, this is before we are keeping this material inside the applied magnetic field. Okay, we have not applied any kind of magnetic field here. First of all, only we are considering the nucleus, okay, and the electronic orbit. The electron is revolving in one particular orbit. Now if the electron is revolving comfortably, it means that there must be the centripetal force acting. Okay, so there must be some centripetal force. Suppose I am denoting this centripetal force by the letter F0, and this centripetal force, that is F0, is equal to mv square divided by r, where v is called as a linear velocity of the electron. V is called as a linear velocity of the electron. Now I want angular velocity in place of linear velocity. So how I can write it? So it is m, I will represent this velocity by a letter v0. Okay, that is the velocity of the electron in the absence of any magnetic field. We have not applied any kind of magnetic field over here. Okay, so m into omega 0 square into r. Okay, if I put the value of v0, okay, then I can rewrite this equation as m omega 0 into r. Okay, and that must be equal to, see, centripetal force is acting on this particular electron, but by which quantity this centripetal force would be supplied? This centripetal force would be provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus. Okay, the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus. So what is that? It is nothing but E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square. And remember that the atom is not of hydrogen atom. There may be another different kind of atoms. So in order to represent different number of protons inside that nucleus, okay, and different number of electrons inside that particular atom, we have to use the letter Z, that is the atomic number of that particular atom. Okay, so the electrostatic force which exists between the electron and the nucleus is given by this particular factor. Okay, now from this particular equation I can find out the value of omega 0 square. So omega 0 square is equal to, just take this m into r into the denominator. So it is z into e square 4 pi epsilon 0 m into r cube, r into r square, that is r cube. Okay, so this is the expression for omega 0 square, and therefore omega 0 is equal to under root of z into e square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube. Remember that this omega 0 is the orbital angular frequency of electron which is orbiting around the nucleus in the absence of any magnetic field, Okay, now this is the orbital angular velocity, and again, since electron is moving, it is equivalent to one type of current, and therefore it will generate the magnetic moment. The magnetic moment generated by this electron is given by, I will represent it by a letter ml. I will not use mu, okay, because mu is used for the magnetic permeability also. So I will represent this magnetic moment of that electron, orbital magnetic moment of that particular electron by a letter ml. So what will be the formula for ml? It is nothing but I multiply by A. It is I multiply by A. Okay, and I is nothing but E divided by T. And A is nothing but pi r square. Okay, now what about T? T is nothing but 2 pi by omega. Now here we are talking about omega 0, therefore we have to write omega 0. Okay, so instead of T I can write 2 pi by omega 0. So E divided by 2 pi by omega 0, so omega 0 will be on the numerator, and into pi r square. So this pi will get cancelled, and finally I will have the expression for ml as E into omega 0 r square divided by 2. Okay, so this is the magnetic moment associated with the orbital motion of the electron. Okay, orbital motion of the electron. Okay, so angular velocity and magnetic moment. Okay, but at the same time, you see there is a centripetal force acting on the electron. But now if I keep this atom, okay, if I keep this atom in presence of magnetic field strength H, in presence of the magnetic field strength H, or just in presence of the magnetic flux density that is given by B, suppose, okay, then on this electron, because of the presence of magnetic field here, on this electron there will be the action of Lorentz force. Okay, so the Lorentz force will act on the electron now, and that Lorentz force, suppose, is given by Fl. So what will be the magnitude of Fl? Fl is nothing but B into E into V. Okay, B into E into V, and B into E into V means what? B into E into R into omega, because V is equal to R into omega. Now here I have used the symbol V and omega, which is different than that of V0 and omega 0. Why? Because when I kept this atom in presence of any other magnetic field, because of the presence of magnetic field there will be some magnetic force acting on this particular electron, and because of that the electron's velocity, electron's linear velocity and electron's angular velocity will change. Okay, now the new linear velocity and angular velocity is denoted by V and omega. Okay, so this will be the modified angular velocity of the electron in presence of magnetic field. Okay, now in which direction this force, Lorentz force, will act? So it is found that this Lorentz force is acted in the direction which is opposite to the centripetal force, Now see, two forces are acting on the electron. One is Lorentz force and another is the centripetal force. But the electron still is in the circular orbit. Even if I am keeping this atom into the external magnetic field, then also the electron is following the circular path only. Therefore, the new centripetal force must be acting on the charged particle, and that new centripetal force will be again mv square divided by r. mv square divided by r, where v is the new velocity. So what it should be equal to? The new equation of motion will be there, and according to that, this centripetal force must be equal to these two types of forces, the addition of these two forces. Now one force is F0, okay, one force is F0 and another force is FL, but they are acting in opposite direction. So I have to take F0 minus FL. So F0 minus FL is nothing but, what is F0? Just now we have found out, F0 is this thing, Z E square. F0 is nothing but the centripetal force which has been provided by the electrostatic force of attraction between the electron and the nucleus. So it is Z E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r square, and minus FL. FL is nothing but B into E into R into omega. What about this mv square divided by r? I can rewrite this equation in terms of omega. So it is m omega square into r. M omega square into r. Let us solve this equation. Let us divide this equation by m into r. So onto the left hand side I will get omega square. Okay. Onto the right hand side Z E square divided by, I have to divide it by m into r. So it is 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube. 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube, and it is minus b into E into r into omega and divided by m into r. So r gets cancelled. So on the right hand side what I am getting, I will rewrite it as a EB divided by m. E into B divided by m and into omega. Now what I will do, I will take this EB divided by m into omega onto the left hand side. Omega square minus, instead of minus I will have to write the plus sign now. EB divided by m into omega, and this quantity again onto the left hand side. So this is now positive, it will now become negative. So Z into E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube, and that is equal to 0. Now see, this is a kind of quadratic equation. Okay, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. The value of a is 1. The value of b is EB divided by m, and the value of c is this complete bracket. Okay, minus Z square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube, that is the value of c. We know how to find out the roots of this particular equation. Okay, how to find out the roots of this particular equation? Here I will have to write x is equal to minus b plus minus under root of b square minus 4ac divided by twice a. Now let us put the values. Instead of x, what I am having? Omega. Omega is nothing but the modified angular velocity of the electron in presence of external magnetic field. Omega. It is equal to, x is equal to minus b. What is the value of b? This one, minus b. So EB divided by m. That is the minus b, minus small b. Again plus minus under root of b square, means EB divided by m whole square minus 4 a. The value of a is 1 into c. C is with minus sign, so minus will get plus 4 into ZE square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube. 4 pi epsilon 0 m r cube. Okay, and again divided by 2 times a. The value of a is 1, so divided by 2. Okay, let us solve this. Again this 4 will get cancelled. Okay, this 1 by 2 I can write like this, 1 by 2. So I need not write like this now. Okay, now this 1 by 2 is multiplied to the whole bracket. This 1 by 2 is multiplied to the whole bracket. So finally I will get minus, I will just multiply this 1 by 2 to every quantity now. So it is EB divided by twice m plus minus under root of this EB. Now I have to take this 1 by 2 inside the square root. So instead of this 2 I will have to write 4. Okay, but here the square term is there, so I will write like this. Okay, and again plus ZE square. So instead of 2 I will have to use 4. So 4 pi epsilon 0 mr cube. If you are not understanding these calculations, you can simplify it thoroughly. Okay, you can simplify it thoroughly. Don't use shortcut if you don't understand it. Okay, now what is this z into e raised to power 4 divided by, sorry, not 4, it is e raised to power 2 only. Z e square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 mr cube. You see, Z e square 4 pi epsilon 0 mr cube is nothing but omega 0 square. It is nothing but omega 0 square. So instead of that I can write omega 0 square. Omega 0 square. So finally what I am getting, actually it is omega 0 square plus EB divided by twice m whole square. Now if I assume that this EB divided by twice m, this EB divided by twice m is very less than omega 0. This EB divided by twice m, if it is very less than omega 0, then I can neglect it. I can neglect this value inside the square root term. Okay, so inside the square root term I am not having this value. This is approaching towards 0 because it is very negligible as compared to omega 0 square. Okay, so under root of omega 0 square is nothing but omega 0. Under root of omega 0 square is nothing but omega 0. So finally I am getting the expression for omega. So omega is equal to omega 0 under root of omega 0 square can be written as omega 0, and it is with the sign plus minus. It is with the sign plus minus. So I will have to use that sign also. Plus minus omega 0 minus EB divided by twice m, minus EB divided by twice m. So this is the expression for modified angular velocity in presence of modified angular velocity of the electron in presence of applied field, in presence of applied magnetic field. So it is proved here that when the atom is placed in the external magnetic field, the electron motion is modified, electron's motion is modified, its angular velocity gets modified, and because of the modification of angular velocity it will introduce some change in the current, okay, which will further introduce the change in the magnetic moment of that particular electron. Okay, earlier it was not having any magnetic moment, but now because of this it will have some magnetic moment. Okay, now here you see there is a plus and minus sign. Okay, so when to use plus sign, when to use minus sign? Actually, whenever our electron was revolving earlier with angular velocity omega 0, there used to be some magnetic moment. There used to be some magnetic moment given by this ml is equal to e omega 0 r square divided by 2. Now this magnetic moment would be having some kind of direction. Okay, now if the direction of this magnetic moment, is parallel, if the direction of this magnetic moment is parallel to the applied magnetic field, then we have to use the plus sign. And if the direction of magnetic moment of the electron is anti-parallel, is opposite to the direction of the external magnetic field, then we have to use minus sign. Now you see what will happen if I consider the plus sign and if I consider the minus sign. So for the magnetic moment of the electron which is parallel to the external magnetic field, we have to take plus sign. So if I take the plus sign, then what will happen? Omega is equal to omega 0, because omega 0, with omega 0 I have to use the plus sign, omega 0 is there, minus EB divided by twice m. So you see, earlier the angular velocity of the electron was omega 0. in absence of magnetic field. But now I have kept this atomic orbit in presence of magnetic field, and when I kept this electronic orbit in presence of magnetic field, the new angular velocity is equal to omega 0 minus something. Omega 0 minus something. It means that this omega is less than omega 0. It means that omega is less than omega 0. So for those electrons, okay, in an atomic orbits, for those electrons whose angular moment, whose magnetic moment is parallel to the direction of applied magnetic field, they will be traveling with low angular velocity or smaller angular velocity. It means that they are slowing down. They are slowing down. So such electrons will be slowing down. They will be moving around the nucleus with lower angular velocity. They will be slowing down. Okay. So this will be the case when the direction of magnetic moment is parallel to the direction of applied magnetic field. Now what about such electrons whose direction of magnetic moment is opposite to that of applied magnetic field? So for such a case I will have to use minus sign. And therefore the new angular velocity will be omega is equal to minus omega 0 minus EB divided by twice m. Okay. The net effect is that this omega, the value of this omega will be greater than omega 0, will be greater than omega 0. It means that if the direction of magnetic moment is opposite to that of direction of external applied field, then such electrons will be moving faster. So in an atom there will be the paired electrons. Okay, in an atom there will be the paired electrons, then only this diamagnetism will arise. Okay, so what is happening with these paired electrons? For one of the electrons direction magnetic moment, what will happen? This direction of the magnetic moment would be parallel to the external field. Therefore such electrons will be slowing down. Okay, such electrons will be slowing down, and the other electron whose direction of the magnetic moment is opposite to that of the external magnetic field, such electrons will be moving faster. So one is slowing down, another is moving faster, and both will contribute to the change in current. And that change in current would not be zero. In presence of magnetic field. In the absence of magnetic field, yes, the change in the current would be zero. Because the effect produced by one electron was cancelled by the effect produced by the other electron. But in presence of magnetic field, no, the change would not be zero. There will be some positive change, and because of that positive change there will be some positive value of current introduced in that electronic orbit. Okay, and by how much factor this change would be there? What will be the change in the angular velocity of both the electrons, of the paired electron?